I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out.
He's steaming mad.
He is out.
Swung. Fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It's caught on the run. He's going to score. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good. Van Tiffin has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn.
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome in to Total Chad Sports Podcast number 56, right? This is number 56 on the list. And I've already seen some familiar faces back again in the chat. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. You're more than welcome to ask questions there. You're more than welcome to ask anything you want. And if you want to break down something as well, you want to sit here and ramble and chat with me, you're more than welcome to, because that is what the podcast is all about. It's about you, the listeners, the watchers, the lurkers, everybody that's out there that support the channel throughout the week, throughout the day, throughout the year. So thank you so much once again for being here. Number 56 on the list. Thank you so much, JP. We're going to break down a lot of stuff that's going on between the Trash Pandas, the Atlanta Braves, some stuff I've seen around the Atlanta Falcons. Might even get into, I know people have been talking about it yesterday. We'll probably get into the playlist that is Kirk Cousins and his controversial, I guess you could say, playlist he had for his birthday yesterday. Around camp and getting ready for the season to start. There's a lot of high school football going on this week as well. My alma mater is taking on the Lee Generals right down the road from where I live. So that should be a lot of fun, and I'm going to try to get to go to that game. And then following the next week, probably going to go to New Hope versus DAR. So if you're in the area and you want to come out to a game, go see a local game on a Friday or Thursday night and support your local teams for sure. But to support the channel, if you want to go to YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, all those places, even Instagram, look for Coach Grizzle TV or at Coach Grizzle or any kind of form of Coach Grizzle. If you see my face, it should be me. I don't think I have too many copiers anymore because the mixer days are over. So I don't think there are any copies of Coach Grizzle. Now, there is a Twitter Coach Grizzle. It's some coach in like North Carolina or something like that. I would love to steal his handle. But that's the reason why it's Coach Grizzle TV, and that's why I guess people just that's how you can differentiate. I guess I put the TV part because Mixer was falling apart, becoming Facebook Gaming or getting bought out by Facebook Gaming, and then I had to go to the Twitch TV side. So at the time, it seemed like it was going to the dark side, but really it wasn't. It's something very positive. It gives a lot of people that work in the sports world or just video game or whoever, if you do like a sewing stream or a cooking stream or something like that. I mean, it's a great outlet to be able to kind of like break down a lot of your stuff. And if you're on Kick too, I think Kick is kind of growing as well. It's something that's outside of Twitch. It's its own streaming service as well. You can also find Captain Yorkie in the chat. You can find his channel there if you'd like. The Harkness also streams on Twitch as well. So if you want to hit him up and watch his Twitch streams, you can go there as well too. Head of Steel loves to play a lot of Sea of Thieves, and that might be a game that we might get into a little bit more and may game over on Twitch, because I really don't have any sports games other than I guess I got NHL because it's free. But yeah, I could probably play some NHL from time to time, but I'm so bad at it that you probably don't want to watch me do it. So we'll probably play some different types of games and maybe do something like that. But I like doing this live stream. I like having this live form of the podcast and of just whatever we're breaking down, because I get to interact with you guys. I get to just talk about whatever. We might just go down some crazy rabbit hole, and I actually have something differently planned, and this is something we're going to go we're gonna start doing going forward. I'm gonna end after I do my analysis of. I'm doing the AFC and the NFC East next. So today you will get my predictions for the AFC and NFC East, where they finish, will they make the playoffs? Just maybe break down some of the games throughout. I've already kind of looked at some of the AFC East games, some of the NFC East. I kind of just went kind of quick through and didn't really know if I was going to like really talk about it, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. In the East, I think you know who's going to be possibly the two best teams. One team might be a hit or miss, and then one's going to be absolute garbage. And I think you already know that. James McKinnon, how are you today, Mr. President? I know, right? Freaking president. We got a president in the chat. Wanna stream Stipe coach and tuck. That'd be pretty easy. That'd be pretty easy. You can stream snipe me in Sea of Thieves. Like half the time when I'm playing Sea of Thieves with Head of Steel, I'm like this. I'm probably asleep, or like I'm watching. I'm like playing like this, and I'm like dozing off while we're like almost running into a rock, or like running into whatever. Bro, falling asleep 24/7, right? Like the stream that I did. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, we were streaming complete. We were way too late. It was way too late in the day, okay? Great. Ready to hear Coach talk crap about the Phillies. I know, right? Are you ready for me to crap on the Phillies? How do you let this AAA roster of bums come in here and just beat the piss out of your favorite team? Only 6 games back now. Only 6 games back. 2.5 games above the Mets right now, too, on the wild card. So you let it happen. All that shit talk, and you let it happen. It's okay. We'll get there. You're going to get there one day. Y'all, it's like I said before. What are they now? They're 3.5 back behind the Diamondbacks, 4.5 back behind the Padres. So get ready for when the Braves start moving up, and you don't want to be that third team, especially if Albies comes back right when the playoffs start, and then also Austin Riley's supposed to come back at the same time. But you can't. I mean, how can you get pissed off, or just like as a Braves fan, if you are a Braves fan, how can you get pissed off at what the Braves are even doing? I mean, you can't stop injuries from happening. They're gonna happen. But when you've had Sean Murphy miss about 50 games, Spencer Strider's out for the year, Acuna's out for the year. He's missed about 70-something games ever since he tore his ACL. You had Ozzie miss, I think, a bunch of games because now with the hand and everything like that. You've got Austin Riley who's missed like 13 to 15 games or something like that. He had missed like 13 games, but he also missed like 15 games randomly where he just was he was like in the roster, he was in the lineup, but he didn't play. So it's like, what? Like, how did he miss those days? And then now he's going to be gone for 68 weeks with a hand fracture. And then you're going to have him possibly right when the playoffs start. So hopefully Michael Harris is back after like 50-something games. Max Fried was out for a while after the All-Star break because he got hurt right after the All-Star break. You had Ronaldo Lopez also hurt, who just came out and just pitched a gym last night, 10 Ks over like 6 and some innings against the Phillies, and pitched a phenomenal game. I mean, there was one time he was in a jam and he had bases loaded and he struck out the side. I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, it's crazy that they're able to do this. And Albie's hurt again. I think he was hurt twice this year. AJ Minter's missed like 30-something games. I mean, Soler was only hurt for like a short time, and then he came in to pinch hit last night, which was a great sight for Braves fans. But you kind of expect, like what the hell's going on? You kind of want to hope this happens. You kind of want to see what the Braves can do, but it's like, are they built for the postseason? On paper, no. But this team is playing really well. Laureano with the 2 sliding catches to seal the game. Whit Merrifield talking shit to the Phillies because they didn't want him. And he's playing for a franchise that does want him because they need him. And he's out here playing really well. I mean, in relief, he's playing really, really well. And Laureano, too. The terrible play that he had in outfield. People making fun of the way that he was going after the ball and everything like that. To come in there and just do what he's been doing. He's also been raking, too. Hitting home runs, getting on base. I mean, I don't know how you can't not hate what the Braves are doing right now. Because if this was the Yankees like a few years ago where they had a bunch of dudes getting hurt and everything like that. They were just falling apart, and they couldn't even get out of their own way. I mean, there's no other team right now. Maybe the Phillies, okay? Because they're kind of able to do it for a couple of guys getting hurt. Look at the Angels. Most of their best players are all hurt or gone. And they can't seem to get it right. They're at the bottom of the AL West. The Braves, I mean, the Phillies could probably get a couple guys hurt and probably still have some good games, because that's the thing about pitching. If the pitching down the stretch can be really well for the Braves and they're just able to score runs behind the great pitching, because Chris Sale's going to win the Cy Young. But with Chris Sale, Ronaldo Lopez, and Max Fried, it's going to be something that in the postseason is going to be a problem for a lot of these teams, because that's really quality pitching right there. So I don't know why anybody can sit here and say, yeah, whatever, but the Braves are still like 9 games over 500. They're still able to win games. They're still in the playoff race. You've got probably about less than a month left in baseball, and yet, I mean, here we are. We're sitting here talking about it, and they're still winning games. They won last night against the Phillies, all right? They got to keep that momentum going down the stretch, because you can't lose games to like Colorado. You can't lose games to the really bad teams of the world. You can't lose to the Nationals if you have to play them again. I don't know if they play them again. I haven't looked at it. But you can't lose to some of these bad end teams. Like, you have to keep winning. You got to beat the best teams in baseball, like the Phillies. I mean, what was happening last night? Brandon Marsh couldn't hit. He hasn't been able to hit for a while. All right? Bryce Harper, you got to keep him at bay. All right? Kyle Schwarber. There's guys out there that are going to be able to rake the ball, and you're going to need to keep doing that. Coach killed my fantasy football dreams. I did not kill your fantasy football dreams. Why are you killing my fantasy team? What fantasy team? Head bobbing and everything? I got my bobblehead. It's right here. I don't think he was on the Ronald Acuna MVP bobblehead. I need this Coke right here. We will see what they do against Wheeler. Wheeler was last night, and he lost. I forgot who's today. I'd have to look at it. I think I had it up. Let's see who's going off today. Let's fade in with us. It's Aaron Nola versus Max Fried, by the way. Aaron Nola versus Max Fried. A little ad going on in the background. So, yeah, should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to be excited for it. Big Bear with a home run last night. Ronaldo Lopez dealing. It's going to be fun to watch. Another thing fun to watch is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. As last night, Caden Dana went 8 innings, only 1 earned run. This man is going for a bunch of records within the organization, and the way that I'm glad they haven't rushed him, because as dominant he's been on the mound in Double-A, I would hate to see him go and get shellacked like Jack Kohanowitz did in his first outing for the Angels. And it just seems like the Angels are doing that. They're still holding on to Christian Moore. They have Orlando Martinez back in the lineup. They got Calabrese back in the lineup. I mean, there's a couple of guys. I think Denver Guzman I saw in the lineup too. So they got some young quality talent who are back off injuries or just young guys that maybe we don't need to see them get thrown up there so early. But it should be a lot of fun. I mean, right now he has 8 wins. The most was 9. He's also getting innings pitched 121. The record's 128. So after last night, he already broke the innings pitched record. Because this is from Logan Barandis. He is one of the announcers for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And then the starts, he has 21. Obviously, this would be 22 starts. And he's going to be getting that record as well, as long as he stays on the team, doesn't get called up, stuff like that. I mean, the man's been an absolute machine in his time pitching for him. He's 8-7. Now, there was a lot of games where it was like close. I think the last game, it was like a 2-1 loss. The dude was still dealing. There's nothing really you could do there. He probably would have broken the record for wins in a season if he hadn't lost that last game. I mean, there's also 7 other games you can talk about. I mean, in 22 games, he's started 22 of them. He's 129 innings pitched, so yeah, he's already beaten that. He has 140 strikeouts on the year. His WHIP is 0.95. So his ERA is just under 2.7. It's 2.64. So I mean, the dude has been dealing. Caden Dana is going to be somebody that's going to be a huge prospect for the Angels many years to come. He's only 20 years old. Denver Guzman is 20 years old. I think what's his name? I have to remember. There's a bunch. Denver Guzman is 20. What was the other guy named? I cannot remember off the top of my head. They have another guy that's like 19, 20 years old. They've got a ton of young prospects that are at that point in their life where it's just like they are just getting out of high school. You know what I mean? Like they might be some prospect that, you know, wasn't gonna go to college, or was like, I'd rather just go that MLB route because they're absolute studs. So, I mean, when you're looking at what they've got and what they've got going forward, I think it should be a lot of fun. If you're in the area, should be a lot of fun to go watch some of those games. I'm a huge fan. I would love to be an ambassador for them. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people out here that are ambassadors, and I understand why you're an ambassador. I don't have the looks. I don't have the body. I don't have all those types of things to be an ambassador, but I might have the knowledge and the know-how on what's going on for those said teams. And that would be one of the greatest things to be. Like, I don't know how people become those types of things. Maybe like they know somebody within the organization and they're just like, hey, we'll pay you so many whatevers if you do so many social media posts or whatever. Like, it's kind of silly to kind of think about, but it's like, you're kind of like, okay, that's kind of like how it is. Like, it really is. I mean, like, it seems like a lot of these people that are, quote, ambassadors or whatever, especially younger people, whether it's like a digital person or whatever, like, it's kind of silly. But it's like one of those things where it's just kind of like, you would probably do it too if you were, I mean, Nelson Rada, that's who I forgot. Another young guy. I think that's just one of those things. Maybe one day. Is that a Trash Pandas hat? That is a Trash Pandas hat. I got this. You know where I got this hat? I think I talked about this before on the stream. My mom got me this hat. She got it at a thrift store. At a thrift store. Somebody didn't like the mesh Trash Panda hat. 47 brand too, by the way. So it's a good brand. 47 brand is really good. If I could get a sponsorship from 47, maybe RotoWear, you know what I mean? I would wear that all day. I mean, I'm wearing a NASA shirt. I'm always wearing something fun. Always something fun and cool. I was going to wear like a jersey, but I kind of refrained. I was just like, I'll kind of wear some different stuff. I was actually going to wear a soccer jersey. I have like a old Xbox 360 Seattle Sounders jersey. I also have my HCFC jersey, so I could wear that. I try not to wear the HCFC jersey a lot because it's white, and until I buy the blue one, or if I get the blue one, I would wear it. If the Trash Pandas would give me a jersey, I would wear the freaking jersey every single day. I'd sleep in the damn jersey. You know what I mean? I want the one with the raccoon tail. I like the Trash Pandas with the blue. I do like the baby blue Rocket City jersey, but I really like the white with the Trash Pandas on it. It's like my Braves. Everyone always like sees my Braves jersey that I have, and it's I do have a red Ronald Acuna one I got for Christmas, but I do have a white Dale Murphy jersey that I got in like the original home white. And so like when everybody sees it, they're like, he didn't play in that color. He didn't, and I'm like, I don't care. He's one of my favorite players. My mom is the reason why I'm a Braves fan. She was a huge Dale Murphy fan. I'm going to continue to honor my mother by wearing something that is one of her favorite players, because that was one of my favorite. I may not have been able to see him play. I was probably 3 years old by the time he retired, or 4 maybe. But to this day, I don't have a Chipper Jones jersey. I do have a Freddie Freeman jersey, but I don't have I just never went out and bought. I bought a damn Jeff Francoeur jersey. Now it probably will not fit me at all. I think it's like a schmedium. I bought it in high school. But I did have that one. Those Seattle Xbox jerseys were sick. They were. I have one. Here, it's right here. I'll show it to you. Look, it's right here. I think I have it right here laying on the bed. I do have the dog laying on the bed right here. Check this out. Check this baby out. Freddie Montero, Xbox 360 Live, Seattle Sounders jersey. Now the Montero part is coming off because of the washing. We'll throw it on top of the dog. Maybe she'll get up and say, hey, Lady Bird. Hey, everybody wants to say hey to the dog. Okay, whatever. You can see her. She's laying down. She's like, leave me alone, sir. I'm going to steal it from you. Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a few. I've also got a Roma jersey. But it's kind of tight. I got it when I was in high school, too. When I was a few LBs down. So I do have quite a few jerseys. Oh, by the way, what I was saying earlier, at the end of the show, before we get done with if I didn't say this earlier because my brain's getting a little rattled, we're getting a little crazy with the stream. If at the end of the stream, when I'm done with my predictions and everything like that, we're going to do a This Day in Sports History. I found a website. It's called onthisday.com. You can check it out if you want. If you want to go ahead and find out what is going on in this day in history. There's quite a few things that are pretty funny. Well, there's a couple of them that are pretty funny. Some of them are just like natural sports facts. But there's one that I want to talk about, and it's kind of silly. It's kind of a funny baseball history fact, and I think it's should be a lot of fun to kind of break down and get your reaction on a lot of that too. So we won't always talk sports. We might be able to talk some history. We might be able to talk some pop culture and anything like that if you're watching anything. Have you seen Deadpool versus Wolverine yet? Because I still have not seen it. Because I want to know, is it worth it? Do I want to go see it? Ooh, I'm going to make a name for myself here. Because I'm doing everything I can right here on this stream to talk anything and everything other than sports. Because I know a lot of people that watch the stream or support the stream are not so much a sports fan, and that's okay. That's totally okay. But we can talk anything. We can break down anything. This is the reason why we've got the interactive chat. We've got 6 people watching right now, and you can ask me anything you want. It's badass. Go see it. I'm gonna possibly go see it tomorrow. Because I kind of want to take a break and then possibly stream Friday. Yeah, okay. I just got a text. Hold on a second. There we go. Just want to make sure. Got to help the grandmother cut some grass. Apparently she cut her front yard. She needs her backyard cut. She doesn't realize that I've been working the last 2 days in the hot sun, so I've not been able to get there to go do it. Plus, I had to go take my car in this morning because there was another issue once again with my car. But everything was good. No, it sucked. Go watch it. Go watch It Ends With Us. What is that? I'd rather go watch This Is the End. That was a funny movie. I'd go see This Is the End in theaters again. Hiya, cutie. Got a Snapchat from Aaron. All right, so what were we breaking down? We were already talking about Caden Dana. Absolute performance at the Trash Pandas. They won 7-3 last night. So might end up working for them. I don't know. Send an application. Send in my resume for a position, a full-time position. There's also some game-time positions. There's only 2 home series left. There's next week and then the following week, and then they're done at home. So right now they're playing the Montgomery Biscuits. They won 7-3 last night behind Caden Dana. They're sitting at 3rd in the North. If they can beat Birmingham, there might be a chance for them in the second half to make the playoffs. Probably not going to happen. It's like they just can't seem to get out of their own way. It's like they'll generate runs one night, and then you'll have a 2-1 loss like the other night with Caden Dana. And it's like the Braves. It's like the Braves will do the same thing. The Braves will have a crappy night from like Fried. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. Fried will have like a bad game, give up 4 runs in the first 2 innings or something like that, and then they have to play catch up, and then they can't, and then the next night they'll go score 10 runs or something like that. I mean, behind a stellar performance from Charlie Morton or somebody, you know. And I don't think that's going to happen because Charlie hasn't had really the best of luck. Uncle Chuck hasn't had a good season this season. But I mean, he's older. He's just getting up there in years. His command is a little off. His fastball's getting beat up on. So, you know, it's just, you got to do like Reynaldo Lopez. You got to throw it all around the place. You got to keep it. You got to keep it out of the zone a lot of times. Make people swing for something. Because there was some really good strikes last night in that game, but there was also some really bad ones too that were just like way out of the zone. Didn't make sense. You know, but also that's kind of how the Braves ended up scoring another run, was because bases loaded walk scores in a run off of like 4 bad pitches. Fried has pissed me off the last 2 years in fantasy, man. He's supposed to be my ace. He's supposed to be everybody's ace, but he's also this year playing for whatever. Like, is he going to get moved next year? Is this his last year with the Atlanta Braves? Could they re-sign him for another year or two? I don't really know. I think they probably would end up going with one of their young arms that could come back again, and what, maybe that'll work out for him. I really don't know what AA is going to do. Alex Anthopoulos is a man. He is absolute wizard when it comes to finding guys. I mean, Jorge Soler, other than the injury to his hip or quad or whatever it was, you know, I think that he's going to end up finding another guy. I mean, signing Chris Sale. Reynaldo Lopez, thank you, Guardians. Thank you, LA Angels. I mean, the Angels had him, and they got rid of him. The Guardians picked him up, okay? He was on like 3 or 4 different teams before he came to the Braves. The year he comes to the Braves, he's an all-star. Chris Sale is a Cy Young possible winner. Max Fried is the worst pitcher on the team. Somehow, outside of Uncle Chuck. And then Spencer Schwellenbach or whoever. I mean, AJ Smith-Shawver was supposed to be that guy, then he got hurt. He's out. You still have that Caminiti kid. He's like 17, though. All right? So we'll have to see what happens with him. Hurston Waldrop's still out there. You know what I mean? He's still kind of floating around AAA and AA. We don't know what's going to happen there. J.R. Ritchie, he's a young guy, still in single A. Owen Murphy, still in high A ball. There's a lot of guys out there. Drew Hackenberg for the Mississippi Braves. Drew Hackenberg, I love him. I really like watching him play. I think maybe he should get a chance maybe later in the season if they still have if they're still up and everything like that, and they can call him up and maybe use him. I don't know if they are. But that's another guy. Where's the other guy? Lucas Braun last night. 10 Ks over 6 innings. Lucas Braun is like the 21st prospect on the Braves prospect list. And he's a AA pitcher that they could easily maybe say, hey, maybe we get him up. Luis Diavilla. He's one of those AA guys that should, honestly, I've seen him pitch. He's been like pitcher of the week or whatever in some of the weeks. There's no reason he couldn't be right up there. But it just seems like that's not what they need right now. I honestly thought that they were maybe going to call up Nacho Alvarez again and have him play third base. But it seems like, making the changes, getting Gio Urshela, playing Whit Merrifield pretty much anywhere in the infield. Pretty much just playing him at second, though. It's cool. That's dumb as fuck, but they just need more snow bunnies. Yeah, I was actually going to talk about that. I actually wanted to talk about that. There's a couple of things yesterday I was listening to in Nashville. I was like driving around the Nashville area, the suburb area, and I was listening to 104.5 The Zone, and they were talking about that. And there were some other people talking about like ways to kind of like do that. I think it's cool. My problem is with that is that when you're sitting there talking about college football, it's college football. They're already getting paid. These players already get paid. All right. Why should anyone donate to a player? You know what I mean? While they're playing football. And the thing is, it's like, I don't care. You do you. Make your money. It's like here. If you want to donate, hit up the Venmo. You know what I mean? I don't have the link. I could easily give you the link. But if you want to donate to the chat, heck, donate to the chat. That's on you. That's your money. It's like giving a homeless person money. Doesn't matter what happens after you give the money away. Quit bitching about it. Don't worry about it. I get it. Everyone wants to complain about how much money these kids are making outside of the money they already get paid. But if someone's willing to pay these players whatever they want with their own money because they feel like they want to do it, more power to them. And I hope it helps their business in any way. It's advertisement. I can do that easily here. I just need 5 sponsors and I'd be set. Pay me $50 to $100 a month. That'll help me out tremendously. Everybody can score that. Businesses should be able to do that easily. You already discount stuff half the time anyway. Shoot, give me a local restaurant around here. I'll support it. Give me Milo's Burgers. Give me Milo's Sweet Tea and a Milo's Burger or a Milo's Chicken Tender. Boom, down the hatch. I'll eat it live on stream. I don't care. You know what I mean? Milkbone. Give milk bones to Ladybird. Right, baby? Ladybird. What are you doing? He's like, Dad, shut up. I'm sleeping. I mean, just don't complain about it when it's happening. I think it's kind of silly to kind of put the QR code on the helmet. So, I mean, put it on. Maybe, hey, you know like when the coaches always had the board? Put the board up. Have the board up and it just be like one giant QR code. And so, like, when you're watching the game in the sideline, you can scan the QR code and it goes to, like, the university and it has all the players. And then you donate to each player. Shoot, why aren't more players doing cameos? Like college football players. I'm sure some are, but why not a cameo? Do, like, where it goes to a cameo or something that they do, you know, like Roll Tide Willie. Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Blitz, Bama Blitz, all that shit. Have a QR code that goes to him and you can donate to Roll Tide Willie. What Chad does and Roll Tide Willie do, everyone can hate on them all they want. But they're out here making money for the university and they're getting people to come to this. They're surprisingly getting people to come to the university to play football there. Ryan Williams is one of them. Now, granted, Ryan Williams has probably been granted all this type of stuff. He's an absolute stud anyway. He's going to be one of the best wide receivers. If not, he was. Some people are trying to compare him to one Julio Jones. But we shall see. We shall see. What if he's a dud? All that money, all that exposure from Roll Tide Willie, right? And it's nothing. Yes, instead of announcing their own towns in the beginning, it'll be their Venmo. Yeah, my name's Chad Guathany. Venmo.com/Chad Guathany. Like NFL. You know, like the NFL picture? And it's like, it'd be like Jalen Milroe, number 4, Alabama. Venmo/Jalen Mill. Like, I mean, it's something stupid like that. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was absolutely great. I thought you were about to say Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, Ryan Reynolds, right? Wrexham, all that type of stuff. Just a real, him and Rob McElhenney, they are celebrities that spend a lot of money on a sports team, okay? Now, granted, they're trying to help the community out and all that other stuff, and we talked about this before. Ryan Reynolds is trying to be like a prime minister, or he's trying to be like the president of Canada, okay? He's doing something, all right? Maybe he's going the Trump route. Maybe he'll go political, all right? He's got the Mint Mobile thing, all right? They have the TV show. The town loves them, okay? But they play like AAA or AA soccer, okay? This is like if some big donor came in and said, I'm going to give HCFC, Huntsville City FC, a ton of money, all right? A ton of money to make the facilities better, maybe make the pay a better coaching staff better or something like that. Now, granted, they have to have like so many international contracts, but what if they're able to get all the best international contracts? That's the thing about soccer is like you can be one of the top clubs because you spend the money. That's the reason why Liverpool and Manchester United and I think Paris Saint-Germain is owned by like American players. Like LeBron James has like a stock in Liverpool, right? I mean, I just, the Red Sox have a stock in Liverpool. I mean, why? What is the connection there? Like, you can be a rich person and spend a lot of money on a failing soccer team or a double A, you know, baseball team or whatever. But the players have to be better, right? Like, the product has to be better. You're not just gonna go because it's fancy and all nice and everything like that. Jerry World is fancy and nice and everything like that, but nobody wants to go watch the damn Cowboys. All right, I definitely don't want to go watch the Cowboys. Maybe if the Falcons are playing the Cowboys and I have a chance to go to Jerry World, sure. But it ain't because I want to go watch that home team. So I think there's a lot of stuff like that. What level sponsor am I since I advertise your podcast? You're like the gold, platinum, gold. Like, actually, no, you're like more like aluminum. You're an aluminum sponsor. You're aluminum foil. You're durable. You're reliable, and you don't burn easily. Yeah. When you start donating the big bucks, you become the platinum version. You become the platinum sponsor. I think it's cool though. I think the whole QR codes. I think it's just something that, like, where it's the new age of college football. Like, these kids care about their likes on Instagram, straight flexing. All right, they care about how many likes they got on Twitter, how many views they got on YouTube. I mean, the whole thing about YouTube to go up in the world and to get any kind of sponsorship or really just to kind of like, I mean, you can get your own sponsorship, but to have something where you're related or you're getting paid by YouTube, you have to match the views, you have to match, all that kind of stuff to kind of get there. I mean, you want to make sure that you get the views, you get the number of people that are watching online, everything like that. But I mean, it is what it is. It's like, it's kind of rough to kind of like say, hey, let's feel bad for some of these players. Because like the thing is, it's like, what if somebody's mom, you know what I mean, or cousin is watching somebody on the sideline and they're like, that's so-and-so, a walk-on wide receiver or whatever, right? Maybe he can get a couple of extra bucks, you know what I mean? Maybe he can make something out, on that, or, I'm fine with that. These rich players that are already going to go to the NFL, the ones that are set in stone, that are apparently going to get drafted or whatever, like, they don't need that money. They don't need that QR code, like, at all. I think it's going to get to the point, like you said, you're going to be, I mean, half the time when they talk about players, they talk about how many, like, Instagram followers they have or how many Twitter likes they have. You know what I mean? So, like, that's already kind of turning into that. So they're already making money probably on Instagram. But like I said, if I have a little QR code at the bottom that you want to start sponsoring the channel, I can put that on there. Or you want, like, the link to my Venmo, you're more than welcome to have it. I have to find it right here. I could probably give you the QR code for that. What is my account name? I just got paid today from somebody, too. Somebody gave me some money. My account name is @MassBraves, M-A-S Braves. Yeah, @MassBraves. If you wanna hit up the Venmo, it's @MassBraves. See, look, there's the QR code. There's the QR code. Probably couldn't scan it. That's the thing, is like, how can you scan that? What's Twitter? X. The X. The X. Sorry. Elon Musk's X. X. Probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's still Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. It's still the tweet bird. I want to have the tweet bird up on the corner like I used to. Just to have that situation. Like, are we going to get to the point, though, too, like, where... like I said before, like, if I could have Milo's Burgers, Milo's Sweet Tea, sponsor it. You've already seen the video. I have the video. All right? Drinking the gallon of sweet tea. Probably why I got kidney stones. But I'm going to keep doing it as long as I mean, if you love me, Milo's Burgers, hey, hit me up. You know what I mean? I'll sponsor you all day. I used to make TikToks and post it on X and hey, if Elon bought my podcast, I'd probably have to be a little bit more political. I'd probably have to go like down a little bit more political background or something. I'd have to go down some crazy rabbit hole. Because I think that's kind of like how this is gonna be. Like, I think there's just like, I mean, like, I would want a QR code that like says that like if I was one of those players and I was with one of the local restaurants, like if I'm an Alabama player with Baumhauer's, right? Baumhauer's Victory Grill. I'm sure they already maybe get money from Bob, the owner, but I guarantee you, like, put a QR code on there that's like, it's like a what is it, like a Grubhub or something like that, or Grub South or whatever, or any kind of like delivery service, and you can buy me, like, you could, like, if I'm hungry and I just tweet out, hey man, I would really like some food right now, hit this QR code. Boom, send me over some food. They already do that on streams. Like, you can buy me food on streams, apparently. Like, you can just, like, you can do that. I'll never understand that. I'll never understand how, like, a streamer has that happen for them. But maybe they got some person out there that wants to do that. I don't know. So, we're, kind of breaking down a lot of stuff that's going on around training camp. Of course, Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon on the Atlanta Falcons. They're still trying to possibly find out another wide receiver. They could sign another wide receiver. They could go with who they have right now. But we'll probably have to see what happens going forward. Haven't really been listening to too much. I did listen to what Raheem Morris had to say after the preseason number 2 game, but also I listened to what he said yesterday, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday, in his press conference around camp leading up to the 3rd preseason game, as they're going to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's one of those teams that, like, I don't know what to say about the Jags. Yeah, they made a run like they did last year. I think the South was a little down a little bit. The Texans are still there. The Colts might be a little bit better. The Titans are better. I think they're good offensively. Maybe a little bit on the back end. In secondary-wise, could be a hit or miss. But I mean, I really liked what he had to say on, what Raheem Morris had to say on, like, just implementing the kickoff rule. His option to go for it, go for 2 and not getting it. There's no ties in overtime, so I completely get what he was doing. He just wanted to see what his possible 3rd or 4th string quarterback is going to do, because Taylor Heineke, he still liked what Taylor Heineke was able to do. Michael Penix didn't play. He's not going to play the rest of the preseason. I think he was like 14 of 16 in the first half of, like, their scrimmage today. So he's playing real well. Kirk Cousins looked really good with Kyle Pitts today. You know, there's a lot of positives for the Atlanta Falcons, obviously, always on offense. I feel like they always have talent on offense. Matt Ryan always had great talent around him. It's the defensive side that you need to see. What can the pass rush look like? What can the secondary look like? And who will step up in the secondary, especially alongside A.J. Terrell, Justin Simmons, and Jesse Bates. But on the defensive line, Grady Jarrett, Matthew Judon, David Onyemata, Ruka Rororo. The linebacking core, J.D. Bertrand could be right there, you know, with Caden Ellis. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are, like, playing for a spot that might be there, that could be there. Nate Landman's going to be the leader on the defense, especially on that linebacking core. So, I think we got to kind of wait and see what happens in this last preseason game, where guys are going to go, what they're going to be able to do for some of these guys, where they might end up. I just think it's going to be kind of tough with the number of players that you do have. Will Lorenzo Carter be there? I mean, he's an older guy, but he's also Arnold Ebiketie there. I mean, there's a lot of good talent throughout. Troy Anderson coming off the injury. And there's a lot of good talent on the defensive side. And like Grady Jarrett said, I mean, like on paper, he didn't say this, but I mean, on paper, this is like the best team he's ever played with. Now, granted, Grady Jarrett played with the team that made it to the Super Bowl. So take it for what you want. On paper, it's supposed to be better. Going to the OU game next weekend. I wish I was going to the OU game in Auburn. That won't be happening. Apparently there's more media people that want to be down in Auburn now that Hugh Freeze is the head coach. Years past, they didn't care about Brian Harsin and the last few years of Gus Malzahn. But when it's Hugh Freeze and what they have going, Peyton Thorne, I mean, Perry Thompson, Coleman, there's a lot of good players on offense. Jarquez Hunter for another year. There's a lot of returning and good young guys that are coming into the fold on the offensive side of the ball. It's the defensive side of the ball, alongside Elijah Pritchett, that are going to be like who's gonna step up. There's a lot of positivity about the defense, but we'll have to see what's going forward for the Auburn Tigers this year, because I think they still have a great roster offensively. I mean, that's the thing about Auburn, is that outside of what they have, it's like you got a couple of transfers, Robert Lewis, you've got Keandre Lambert-Smith, who's a transfer, not Percy Lewis, he's a lineman, Cam Coleman, the freshman. I mean, there's good guys out there. Bryce Kane is a freshman. Malcolm Simmons is a freshman. There's a lot of good young talent on top of some of these transfers that Hugh Freeze, and he's been talking very positively about these said transfers too. So we'll have to see what happens going forward. I mean, Keontae Scott is one of my favorite cornerbacks that they have. I think he's going to be another older guy. He's a senior. I thought he played really well last year. He was also in the punt return team too. So there's a lot of good positivity for them as well, on top of what you already know at Alabama. I mean, I was looking at, I'm trying to find the article that I had. Let's see if I can find the article. Here it is. This was from Bama Hammer. This is actually by Ronald Evans of Bama Hammer. We know Jalen Milroe at quarterback. Jam Miller, dinged up. You got Richard Young. All right. You got Justin Haynes. A lot of good young running backs. Wide receiver room. Transfer Jeremy Bernard. The fast motherfucker in Kendrick Law. The young gun, Kobe Prentice. All right. You got Ryan Williams. Quote, could be a Julio Jones type player. Emmanuel Henderson. Cole Adams. Jared Hamilton and Caleb Odom, we'll see. Rico Scott, we'll see. Might be some return guys, might be some guys playing certain positions, rotating out. Tight end, CJ Dupree, I thought he was going to be really good last year in that offense. I hadn't seen really much. He looked really good at Maryland, okay? As soon as he came over to some real competition, it got a little crazy. But Josh Cuevas and Robbie Oots, I like Robbie Oots. We'll see what happens. But this is going to be a Kalen DeBoer type offense that is going to be some fun to watch. And we don't know how much often. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how important it really is in his offense and how much he really utilizes it outside of all the other talent that you have on offense. The offensive line, Tyler Booker is the left guard. Brailsford is the center, okay? Jaden Roberts is the right guard. Will Conformi and Elijah Pruitt, we'll have to see. Because I feel like that's pretty much been a great competition. That's been a great battle among them. So, if we're looking at the depth chart right now, because we had the depth chart up just a second ago, then I put it down. Elijah Pritchett and Miles McVay at right tackle. We already know Caden Proctor is the left tackle. If Wilkin Formby is the backup to him, I would keep Wilkin Formby there and to see what Elijah Pritchett does and Miles McVay can do. I think Casey Poe's not there yet. Nikhil Bertrand, maybe. Freshman transfer. I just think that you keep it what you have. Because I like the connection between Caden Proctor and Wilkin Formby. Elijah Pritchett and Miles McVay. Another competition could be that right tackle position. Probably be Elijah Pritchett. Just have to depend on what's going on. They talked about Jaden Roberts. He had like some surgery. He's going to be there. He's going to play. Kalen DeBoer even talked about that in his press conference, that he would be ready even though he had some kind of injury to his arm, shoulder, or something like that, and had actual surgery, but he was supposed to be better now. Oh, I can hear now better. We were talking about, what we talking about? Well, we were just talking about money, QR codes on helmets, football. We were talking about Auburn and Alabama. We just got done talking to some Auburn. I did talk Auburn. And we were talking a little bit about the depth chart for Alabama. We were just kind of breaking that down. I did have it up. I thought I had it up. I just can't read, apparently. We were talking about the Falcons like all before this, because I was gonna talk about Kirk Cousins' soundtrack, because I thought that was like the funniest thing ever for his birthday. Let's get into that real quick, and then we'll break down the NFL talk, and then we'll do our on this day in sports history. Let me see here. Let me find it real quick so I can pull it up and have it up like big ballooned up. Because a lot of people were making fun of him. A lot of people were kind of making fun of his list. Check out this list. Check out this list that the Atlanta Falcons put up for old Kirky Cousins. If you can read this, I hope you can read this. I'll flip it over. Look at Kirk Cousins' birthday practice playlist. I wanted to talk about this yesterday. And I was just working, and I got home late, and I was having to do some things, so I was kind of figuring that all out. Look at this list. The middle. Jimmy Eat World. Move Along. The All-American Rejects. Holiday by Green Day. Stacy's Mom by Fountains of Wayne. All the Small Things. Freaking Blink-182. The Anthem by Good Charlotte. I can't remember how the anthem goes. Mr. Brightside. I think a lot of people in this chat know Mr. Brightside quite well. It's a really good karaoke song. I'm just saying, go to your local karaoke bar, or like a karaoke bar in downtown. Go to like Nashville, they always play like a country song. Play Mr. Brightside. A lot of girls will be singing with you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Because, you'll get a lot of attention singing Mr. Brightside. Guys and gals will be singing Mr. Brightside with you. All right? It's a good song. They play it at Alabama games in the fourth quarter. All right? Mr. Brightside, carrying on your alibis. You know that song. You know that song. Solid playlist, to be honest. What I heard yesterday on 104.5 was, it's very white. It's a very white playlist. Stereo Hearts, Gym Class Heroes, Best of You, Foo Fighters, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. Good Charlotte. Sugar, we're going down. Good. With Fall Out Boy. Dirty Little Secret. All-American Rejects. This Love by Maroon 5. Why would he have This Love by Maroon 5? There's so many other Maroon 5 songs, like Kiwi. Sweet Kiwi by Maroon 5. If you've never heard of Kiwi by Maroon 5, Sweet Kiwi. And you know what it's about, right? I'll let you think that one over. Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend who looked like a boyfriend. I don't know. Anyway, The Killers. I like The Killers. I think The Killers are good. I didn't know they did that song. I forgot about that. Dear Maria, Count Me In by All Time Low, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. Now, anything Three Doors Down is a great workout song, in my opinion. I think, except for like some of their Crybaby music. Maybe not so much their Crybaby music. And then Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. I mean, seems like, yeah, he got it from Kohl's. He got Kohl's Cash, and he went and bought like those little That's What You Call Music 16s. What are we at on those? Is it like That's What I Call Music, like 78 or whatever now? I wonder what we're on right now. I think it's in like the 50s or 60s now. Could be wrong. Maybe it's That's What I Call Music 100. Maybe we're over it now. Remember Kids Bop? Is Kids Bop still a thing? My thing is, like, I would have had some of that music on there. I probably would have had more Daft Punk. Probably some more Red Hot Chili Peppers. I would have had some 311. I would have had Hoobastank. I would have had a lot of Hoobastank. I would have had Franz Ferdinand. There's a lot of stuff that I probably would have still hooked on. Freedom Rock. Is that the one, like, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and there's like 17 CDs for $29.99? Well, turn it up, man. I can't play music on YouTube. Could get copyrighted. I'll have some Joe Duffy. I'll have some Toby Keith. I'll have some no Chris Stapleton. I got my brother-in-law. He sounds like Chris Stapleton. Yeah, no, I have like a whole bunch of different genres of I like all different types of music. I like classical music. You know what I mean? Rocking out to a little Beethoven while you're pumping some iron. What's wrong with that? But these songs, like you're not even paying attention to half the time. Like, unless you're on the sideline or like you're in between plays, like, you're not gonna hear that music half the time anyway. But it's his birthday. I mean, it's his birthday. That's his banger playlist. I mean, bangers only, baby. You know what I mean? Like they say in HCFC, bangers only, baby. Which, when I heard that, I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? I was like, I like soccer. But when I hear an announcer go, bangers only, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? I mean, Huntsville FC, by the way, back-to-back wins. It's been really cool to see them make the change. Chris O'Neill's been doing a great job with that franchise to kind of get them in the right direction. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7 games. There's only 7 games left in the season. I'm going to try to maybe go to the next home game. They're supposed to play Nashville SC, and I think it's pretty soon. Wednesday, September 4th at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. If you're a Nashville SC fan and you want to watch your team play their kid club, or their, I guess you could say, AAA club. If you want to watch them play the HCFC, there's Wednesday night on September 4th at 7 p.m. I might end up going to that game. That's in 2 weeks. To kind of watch. I don't know if Hani Mukhtar is going to be there. I don't know if the one of the best players in the MLS is going to be there, but I'm sure most of their core guys are going to be there. And it should be a lot of fun to see what happens, just to kind of watch like one of those types of scrimmage. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're getting close to time because I told my grandmother I'd be over at her house and cut her lawn for her, trying to be that good grandson that I am. Let's get down to our breakdown of the AFC and the NFC East. I'm going to start with the NFC East. And then we'll finish up the show with On This Day in Sports History. Since I love history, we will break down what's going on that happened on this day in history. There was a fun little fact that I did see on there, And I thought that was kind of funny, and maybe we can break down that too. So, as we transition the next page, we're going to see here we got the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders, of course, of the NFC East. I think that there's a real good chance that the Eagles still could win that division, go 11-6. I still think that possibly the Dallas Cowboys could come in at second at 10-7 and still make the playoffs. Now, I originally had Washington at like 9-8, 8-9, but I took a couple of games off. From when I was looking at their schedule, there's just a couple of games that I don't see them winning. I think that they're going to get beat by possibly the Cowboys, maybe once or twice. They'll get beat by the Eagles both times. I think Jaden Daniels as the starting quarterback is going to be really positive for them and probably help them a little bit with Scary Terry and that offense. Yeah, they will be. They will be. I really think they will be. I think that still all the issues you got going on with CeeDee Lamb and, you got Ezekiel Elliott, who's at least lost some weight, and he looks a lot healthier, and he might have a revitalized career. I still like Dak Prescott. I will say this. I wanted Dak Prescott in Atlanta, okay? I really did. I still think he could be a really good quarterback behind a really good team. And I think if he had gone to the Falcons, that Raheem Morris would have had, I think he would have been able to help Dak a lot. Dak is okay. No, I get it. He's okay. He's not the best. But who are you going to have instead of him? You see what I'm saying? You want Daniel Jones for the Giants? That's why I think they're going to go 2-15. They might win one game this year. But I looked at theirs. They could beat the Vikings and the Panthers. That's their two games. The Vikings and the Panthers. Those are the two games I see the Giants winning. You see what I'm saying? So when I went through this, I do my research, okay? I don't just talk out of my ass. All right? I kind of do a little tiny bit of research when I'm talking about a team, okay? I don't go, the Eagles should look really good against the Falcons in their division this year. You see what I'm saying? When you start talking about that kind of crap out of your ass, you look like an idiot. Okay? So when you're talking about certain teams and you want to do these types of things, you should probably know who you're talking about and who they play. Okay? It's like if I want to sit here and talk about my high school alma mater, I know all the teams that are in their region and in their classification. Maybe not so much all the ones that are in their classification, but I will at least look it up before I talk out of my butt. So, Eagles could lose 6 games, yes. And I went through it too, and I kept going through it, and I kept looking at it, and I was like, 12-5. No, 11-6. Look at that. I mean, look, I'll show you right here. I got it right here. I got it up. Hold on, I have another one up. I have a different... Let me put it on here. I had a different thing up. Let's look at the Eagles schedule. Look at this. Check this out. Look at it. You got the Falcons. You really think that I'm going to think... I'm sorry, that's not their first game. The Packers, the first game. I still think they could win 2 out of the 3 of these games. Is Jordan Love the guy? He didn't look very good at the start of the season last year, but got paid $50 million. Right? Do I really pick against my own team? Yes, I can sometimes. They just cannot win, it seems like, anytime they play the Eagles. They've won like 1 out of the last 5 or whatever. And they play the Eagles like every single year, it seems like. It's a hard game for them to win. You're not going to like my analysis of the Saints when we get to that point. And that's in the next podcast, probably Friday. Jordan Love can beat the Cowboys, not the Eagles. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. They're going to beat the Saints. Let's say, okay, here we go. 0-1, right? Well, 1-1, okay? 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, okay? 6-2, 7-2, 8-2, 8-3, 8-4, right? 9-4, 10-4. Okay, now hear me out. 10-5, 10-6, 11-6. Okay? It is the NFC East. If the Eagles are in a position to make the playoffs and they're those last two games, the Commanders and the Cowboys especially would probably have to have it by then, right? I don't think they're going to have it early with a young quarterback or Dak Prescott early. But at the end of the year, I could see it happening. Because a lot of these teams, like, it's like the Falcons. Like, everyone thinks that the Falcons are just going to run through the South with what they have on offense and defense. Do you really think they're going to go 13-4? Do you really think they're going to go 12-5? Like, they're not going to go 15-0 and then lose that last game like the Falcons were able to do to the Panthers. They're not going to do that. So, I don't know. Do we sit here and say, yeah, like, one of these teams, it's going to be one of the top two teams on the top of the list? Yes. It's going to be the Cowboys or the Eagles. I don't think it'll be the Commanders. I'm not a big sell on Dan Quinn. I've had Dan Quinn, okay? I'm a Falcons fan. I've seen Dan Quinn. I've seen enough of Dan Quinn, all right? But he's got a young quarterback. I think he can build that defense up really well because he was able to do it for the Cowboys. He's still a great defensive coordinator. As a head coach, not so much. But he did have a couple of good runs, one of the best runs as a head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. I think he got him to the Super Bowl within like 4 years. So, this is her prediction. This is what I kind of think could happen. Okay? Besides run game, I think the Eagles could be shaky. I agree with that. I still love Jalen Hurts. I still think he's a great quarterback. They have a great defense. It's still the Eagles, right? Like, we know who the Giants are. We know Daniel Jones is going to have, like, some crazy, stupid game. Maybe once. But, man, he's seeing ghosts in the preseason. He don't look so great now. Jaden Daniels has got a lot of upside as a rookie quarterback. But he also has a lot of maybe what-ifs. Being the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. Sorry, I didn't want to say the bad word. Chase, as of now, ain't playing. I'm trolling, man. Jordan Love can... You guys are getting a little crazy in the chat. I believe this is going to shock... I hope so. I hope so. Welcome, by the way, HD Engineering. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, that's my analysis. That's my prediction on the upcoming NFL season for the NFC East. So as we look, now we turn our page to the AFC East. Pretty much the same that it comes to the Dolphins now and the Jets. Now, I still think Buffalo could win 8 or 9 games because of Josh Allen, Keon Coleman. They got a defense. They got kind of an aging defense. Last year, the Bills and the Dolphins were at 11-6 because when we talked about it before, yeah, I totally agree. Now, the Jets could go 11-6. The Jets could go 10-7 and still make the playoffs. And then that's even better for Aaron Rodgers because you don't want Aaron Rodgers and the Jets to be like the team that squeaks in and gets in the playoffs and then goes and upsets the Ravens, right? Or goes and upsets whoever they got to play. Maybe they have to play the Dolphins again, right? And this is, look, I even went through it. I think I went through the Dolphins schedule. So let me pull up the Dolphins schedule real quick. And it made sense to go 11-6. I might mess myself up, but I'm pretty sure I had it. I went through it last night to try to go back through it. That's a pretty bold number for the Jets. Now, they got a great quarterback. They got a great running back. They got a great corner. They got a great wide receiver. Their offensive line is better. Jets better than Bills is wild. You know that the Bills went 11-6 and the Dolphins went 11-6, right? You know that Diggs ain't there anymore, right? You know that defense is aging, right? It's the Bills, right? They do this every year, right? It's the Bills. All right. The Patriots, I still think they're a decent team. They're going to have a young quarterback or Jacoby Brissett, whoever's going to be the starting quarterback. It's probably going to be Drake May. Gerard Mayo, I think, is a pretty good coach, but I think he's still going to have issues. It's like Pierce over at the Raiders. I think like they're great player coaches, but they're going to find out real quick that like Mayo is following the guy, right? Kalen DeBoer is following the guy that was the guy, right? It's going to be tough for some of these coaches in their first year. I think Kalen DeBoer has a little easier because it's Alabama and it's an established program. The Patriots have not been good these last 2 years under Gerard Mayo. Okay? So I think that when we look at this, it's not an overreaction. Or sorry, last year. It's not an overreaction to say that the Patriots can't go 5-12. Maybe 4-13. And then they maybe go for another quarterback because Drake May's not the guy. Guy on offense. Whatever. Josh Allen going to Josh Allen. I get that. I totally get that. But are you going to put Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers? Are you going to put Josh Allen over Tua? With what Tua has? And what the Jets have on offense? I just don't think you can. I mean, yes, it's your opinion. You're allowed your opinion. I'm not going to dog you for your opinion. I'm not going to act like I'm smarter than you. Because I'm not. Congratulations! You received 100 messages with Restream Chat! Woo! I have like a soundbite for that when that happens. That in itself, yes, no, that's the reason why they're predictions. You're not going to like my AFC, NFC North predictions. Or South, I'm sorry, predictions. Especially Captain Yorkie. He's not going to love what I have to say about the Saints and Mr. Derek Carr. But I digress. But when I talk about that, I'm going to be not biased towards the Falcons, even though I still think the Falcons could win the division. Granted, will they go 11-6, 12-5? Don't think they're going to go 13-4. I still think they could lose a game. Like, we're not even talking about it, but I still think they could lose a game to the Saints, and they could lose a game to the Buccaneers. No one's talking about the Buccaneers. That's the thing. Nobody's talking about them. But they're still able to win ball games against their own division. The Panthers, I don't know. Does Bryce Young make a bigger jump up this year? Got him some weapons. Maybe they'll be a little bit better. They're always really good on defensively. They got Bum Baker, but he's still able to win games. Let me look at what they finished last year. Because this isn't what we're talking about. We're going to talk about that Friday. Let's look at 2023. Okay? Last year. Let me make sure this is the right one. Last year, they beat the Vikings, the Bears, the Eagles beat them, they beat the Saints, the Falcons beat them the first game, 16-13. Okay? Then the Buccaneers beat them 29-25. Okay? The Saints beat the Buccaneers later in the season, even though the Buccaneers beat them 26-9. Okay? You seem to forget that the Buccaneers also made the playoffs last year. Okay? Under Bum Baker. All right? They beat the Eagles in the NFC wild card. And we're a touchdown away from beating the Lions. Say what you want about Baker Mayfield. Seems like he's doing a little bit better in the Buckies. You know what I mean? Mayfield will lead the Bucs to a ring. That's Oklahoma biased as anything right there. Where's the Broncos? What did I have the Broncos under? I had them at like 5-12, I think. I thought they were going to win like maybe like 5 games. Because I don't know who they're going to... I mean, even if... I still think even if Bo Nix is the quarterback, you got Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix, and Zach Wilson. Who would you pick at quarterback for that team? He's going to plant a flag. I don't know about that, buddy. I still like that's the thing. It's like I said before, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, they both had great defenses that were top 10, and they just came into a better established, and they got guys that they were having. They got guys to play offense or to have certain positions in offense. Leonard Fournette for the Buccaneers, the Rams, and all the talent they had around them, and the way to win the Super Bowl with that. All they needed was a quarterback. I mean, that's all they needed was a quarterback. That's the thing about the Falcons. All they need is a quarterback. That could help. That's going to help them tremendously, as long as Kirk Cousins can stay healthy. And, I mean, like I said, I think, yes, the quarterback play is a little harder in the AFC East, and that's the reason why I have what I have right here. I don't like the Tua slander, and that's not an Alabama biased anything. He's been playing really well. He was, like, leading the NFL last year, halfway through the season. In like every offensive category and stat and everything. So, say what you want about that. Yeah, Tua's got the weapons. You know what I mean? Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Jeff Wilson Jr. Isn't he on that team? They got another running back too. The Jets, they're really good on offense as long as Brett Favre, as long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't go out there for 4 plays and tears his Achilles again. Drake May, we don't know. I still think the Patriots should have kept on to Mac Jones, but I'm glad he's with the Jaguars. He could be the starting quarterback for the Jaguars if he beats out Trevor Lawrence. I still think that Mac Jones has every chance to possibly go on, win that division, be the best quarterback in the AFC South, and who knows? But I think they're going to give it to Trevor Lawrence because he's the guy. He's supposed to be the guy. Yeah, okay. How about the Jets? Take away Wilson, okay? Take away their running back. What's his name? They're not good. How about the Bills? Take away Keon Coleman. Who else they got? They got a bunch of tight ends. They got a bunch of Daltons. Dalton Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Look at the Patriots. They got nobody. So say what you want. Look at the Falcons. Take away Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. It's the same thing. Look what Tom Brady had in his last season. He didn't have shit. Oh. No, I mean, come on. If you're not throwing anybody, you look like shit. Mac Jones looked like shit. He didn't have anybody. You got to have somebody. It's like the way the NBA is now. It's like you got to have big 3. You got to you kind of have to have a big 3 or a big 2. Like, I mean, even a big 2 doesn't get you anywhere. Look at Durant with the Nets and Kyrie. That didn't help. They combined for 85 points one night against the Atlanta Hawks, and I was there for that game. And they lost. They lost. Okay? Brady didn't do it alone. Brady had great talent. Brady also made talent around him better. So did Peyton Manning. I mean, realistically, you can say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes. He just has a great situation around him. He's still throwing balls to Worthy, and it's looking like a Tyreek Hill never left. Valdez Scantling, okay? Valdez Exxon Scantling, okay? MVS. That man came for 1 year, 2 years. I think he's got 2 Super Bowls now. Was like the 3rd wide receiver, and he made plays for him. There's a guy that doesn't have a job in Mike Vrabel right now, okay? As a head coach. I think he's assistant somewhere. Maybe he's just taking the day off. Tom Brady threw Mike Vrabel a couple passes. He's got a couple touchdowns for more than Tom Brady. So, yeah, in itself, that's kind of what you're dealing with, what you're kind of looking at. What happened to my chat box? Is it still there? I was seeing if you guys were still chatting. I mean, you are, but it didn't pop up on my screen. So I was wondering if I accidentally deleted it or something. Someone say something. My chat box went. No, it's there. Okay. It's there. Something. It's there. It was there. I guess it goes away when you go to when nobody was like on the screen chatting. So that's what I got. I mean, that's what I have for those certain teams. All right. We're getting close on time. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark. We don't want to go any longer than that because I'm probably boring you to death. Let's get ready for On This Day in Sports History. Should be a lot of fun. Today in sports history, in 1878, Surrey wicketkeeper Ted Pooley completes a then first-class cricket record, 8 stumpings in a county match against Kent at the Oval. I have no idea what that means. That's some kind of cricket term. 8 stumpings. Does that mean that you hit the little? Like he threw it and he hit the little stump thing 8 times or something? Is that because that's like a strike or something, or a strikeout? 1899, the U.S. National Championship men's tennis in Newport, Rhode Island. Malcolm Whitman wins his second of 3 consecutive U.S. singles titles, beats Jay Parmley Pare 6-1, 6-2, 3-6, 7-5. In 1900, the U.S. National Championship men's tennis in Newport, Malcolm Whitman beats William Larned 6-4, 1-6, 6-2, 6-2 to win his 3rd straight U.S. title. That's crazy. Didn't know about that about tennis. I'm going to save this one for this baseball one for last. In 1914, U.S. Open men's golf, Midlothian CC. Midlothian, I guess that's the course. 21-year-old Walter Hagen holds off amateur Chuck Evans by 1 stroke to win first of his 2 Open titles, first of the 11 major championships. Cricket? Who the hell plays cricket? Is that a Ninja Turtles reference? He said Raphael. In 1915, Australasian Championships men tennis in Brisbane. Englishman Gordon Lowe beats Horace Rice of Australia 4-6, 6-1, 6-1, 6-4. Granted, all of these are from the 1920s. Let's see here. If I can find another one. In 1925, Dutch football club FC Emmen is formed in the town of Emmen in northeastern province of Drenthe in the Netherlands. Here's one of my favorite ones that I saw. America. What's up, Knate? Body? Knat Buddy? America. It's America. It's Erica. Okay? Get it right. In 1901, this was funny. Baltimore Orioles pitcher Joe McGinney, you remember him, is suspended from the MLB for punching and spitting on umpire Tom Connolly in previous day's 5-2 loss to the Detroit Tigers. His lifetime suspension was reduced to 12 days. Could you imagine if a coach was punching and spitting on an umpire? I think that's what fans would love for a coach to do or a manager to do. Like if Brian's like, don't do it, Snit. Please don't ever do it, Snit. But it's like Snit walking out there and him doing this and then just smacking the shit out of the umpire, like Angel Hernandez or somebody like that. I'm sure a lot of people would love to do that to Angel Hernandez, and I'm not putting any hate on him. Glad that he's getting away from it. He's gone. Nobody can dog him anymore. But I mean, that's sports in itself. Umpires make bad decisions. Referees make bad decisions. It's a judgment call half the time. We're bitching and complaining when half the time we don't even really know. In 1931, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth, you know him, becomes the first MLB player to hit 600 career runs as New York defeats the St. Louis Browns 11-7 at Sportsman Park. In 1932, Cleveland Indians pitcher Wes Ferrell was first to win 20 games in each of his first 4 seasons. In 2004, American super swimmer Michael Phelps wins his 6th gold medal of the Athens Olympics, even though he doesn't swim in the final of men's 4x 100 medley relay, and the U.S. wins the world record in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So there was also his 6th gold of his, his 18 golds that he won or something like that, or 18 medals or whatever he did. I mean, that's crazy. In 2016, Kevin Durant scores 30 as the U.S. retains the Olympic men's basketball title with a comfortable win, 96-66 over Serbia at the Rio de Janeiro Games. You remember that Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, by the way? And how they moved people out of their homes, and how the water was disgusting, and how once they did make all those stadiums and moved all those people out and did all that stuff, that the stadiums aren't being used anymore. And that France this year finally spent billions of dollars to clean their water finally. Why does it take sporting events like this to do that? I'm just kind of confused by that. Anyway, and the last two to round it off is a golf and a soccer one. In 2020, American golfer Scottie Scheffler, I think you guys know him, makes birdie on 4 of his final 5 holes to become the 12th player in PGA Tour history to shoot 59 in the second round of the Northern Trust at TPC Boston. And in 2023, just last year, Thierry Henry is named the new manager of the France national under-21 team. And France has been an absolute powerhouse. I've always loved Thierry Henry when he was playing for MLS and in the European leagues. So very positive things about that. Gonna maybe go through some birthdays in the future, or maybe some more of that sports type of thing, just to kind of break that down. Actually, this day in history, it's actually Wilt Chamberlain's birthday today. It's Jack Buck, Joe Buck. You know him. It's Jack Buck's birthday. He died in 2002. David Moulton, the guy that I've always been working with, he supports me. Talk to him a lot of times. Watch his channel. You can watch him on Twitch on twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton from 5 to 8 o'clock, I think it is, in the morning. They talk sports, but David Moulton is the spotter for Joe Buck and what's his name? Troy Aikman. So that's pretty cool to see that. It's Jack Buck's birthday. Anybody else? Usain Bolt turned 38 today. And trying to see if there's any more. Paul Menard was born today. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver, if you know him. BJ Upton, former Atlanta Brave, was born in 1984. Jason Markey, an American baseball pitcher. I know him. 1978. Craig Counsell, 1970. Love Craig Counsell. Hate him for going to the Cubs, but absolutely love Craig Counsell as a kid. That stance was one of the coolest stances. We used to do that all the time, man. Dale Jr.'s old teammate. I know Paul Menard. And the Menard, 20 or something like that? Jim McMahon, 1959. Archie Griffin in 1954. Anybody else that you would? Steve Everett. You know Steve Everett. NFL center, 1970. And I think that's it. I think that is it. So, Robert Lewandowski, you know soccer guy, right? Polish football player, born in 1988. Mike Evans, 1993. Just saw that. Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Bucks. 1993. Lewandowski. Love Lewandowski. I was actually a huge, I loved watching Lewandowski play. Bayern Munich, Poland. I thought he was really good. I thought it was really fun to watch. It's like Robin Van Persie. You remember Robin Van Persie? Aaron Robin, I think that was his name, for the Dutch in the Netherlands. Yeah, one of my favorite outside of America players. All right, well that's it. We're getting winded down. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you go to, if you want, go to your Greater Humane Society. Hit up, donate, sacrifice your time. Help out the locals in that area. Do everything you can. Take a day off, and if they've had a day of just like help, go help them out. Do everything like that. These dogs and cats need love. Go adopt a cat. Go foster a cat. Go foster a dog. I would love to have a ton of land and just foster a ton of dogs. I still think if you're able to adopt a kid and get government money, you should be able to adopt a dog or adopt a cat and get a little bit of money to help out with maybe a medical expense for the rest of the year that it's alive, everything like that. Maybe do something like that, and it'll help you out a little bit more, so you don't have to spend all those expenses on that type of thing, and just give that dog or cat a better home. There's a lot of vets out there that probably could benefit from it, whether it's a service animal in some sort of way. I mean, there's a lot of that. So thank you so much for everybody being here. James, Head of Steel, Yorkie, Hark, HD, K-Nat, who else was here today? If I was missing anybody. JP, everybody that was here in the chat, thank you so much for constantly support. The video will be up right after we're done. You can go rewatch it if you want to rewatch it there. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone always constantly supporting the channel. If you want to follow me anywhere, go hit subscribe. Go follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, X, anywhere, social media, TikTok. Going to try to make some more videos, possibly on TikTok too. Maybe also do some clips from here and put them on TikTok, so they'll be there as well. But if there's anything I missed, I will get back with you on the next podcast. It'll probably be up in the next couple of days. And then we'll break down the NFC, AFC South, give you some more information on what's going on around the sports world on top of what I'm covering, and then what I like to talk about. But also, that's the reason why we make this chat interactive, is so that you can ask me questions, you can be a part of the chat. And I would rather do it live than do a recording, because I feel like until we get guests and everything like that, which we're going to try to implement StreamYard and invite people to be on there. You can help me with one. We'll debate. We can debate Falcons and Saints. All right. I know that if Pizza Larry is listening out there, I know that he wants to be a part of the chat. Carrie Corneliuson. There's a lot of people that are very supportive, that are outside the family and outside the group of like inner core friends that are really supportive of the channel and want to continue to just want to be part of it and want to help me in some sort of way, and I greatly appreciate that. Whether it's the views, whether it's the comments, whatever, I love it. Retweet it, go tell your friends, everybody about the channel. We're going to continue to create great sports talk and give you some content, whether it is sports, whether it's history, whether it's pop culture, whatever. We'll do it right here on the Total Chat Sports Podcast. It's been number 56. I greatly appreciate, once again, everybody being a part of the channel, and everyone have a good rest of your day.
I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out.
He's steaming mad.
He is out.
Swung, fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It's caught on the run. He's going to score. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good! Van Tippen has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn.
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.